In this video, we're going to show you how to use LEGO to make Dungeons & Dragons mini combat maps. Ta-da! Hello gamers, Matthew here from Grey Army Gaming. Now I have been working on a really cool project the last couple weeks to make Dungeons & Dragons battle maps out of LEGO pieces. Now I was surprised when LEGO came out with a partnership with Dungeons & Dragons with Wizards of the Coast recently, where they have made a brand new LEGO set where you can actually play a Dungeons & Dragons campaign on the LEGO set. Really cool. Now the LEGO set they've come out with is a full-size LEGO set with full-size minifigurines. Now what I've done, however, is to make a mini version of it. And this is a version that uses basically the same principles for Dungeons & Dragons combat and movement and everything else, but it is done on the mini scale. I want to try this out today, show this to you, and see if this is something that we could potentially use for our role-playing games. It's a lot smaller, it's a lot less prone to break, and obviously you could take along something like these different maps in a car, or if you're traveling, or yeah, wherever you're gonna go. So I wanted to give this a try, take a look at these here. I've got two maps to take a look at. One is a city map, and the other one is your classic dungeon map. So here's an overview of the first map. As you can see, it is something of a harbor. We have the waterfront here. We've got a large ship, a smaller ship docked here, something of a gate to get into the regular green space of the city. We got a couple roads crossing a river. In here we have our city square and a couple of buildings here with roads heading off in multiple directions. For our characters, we are not going to be using regular minifigurines, but we're going to be using these small pieces, something like you would find maybe in the LEGO Heroica sets. And the great thing about this is all the pieces, you can just put them down on these individual LEGO dots, and they are stuck there very firmly. So what we can say now is that if we're going to play this campaign, we'll say that our adventurers have made their way into the city on a ship. So they've ridden on the ship, and now they are coming into the town. We'll place our figurines there. They can go ahead and explore and move around. So maybe our group makes their way into the center of the city, and they now immediately see what the problem is. Stepping around from this corner, we have a giant who has been terrorizing the city. And for this giant, we're just going to use a piece that has 4 dots for its base. And maybe the giant has with it a couple of orcs as well who are helping it out. And they're ravaging the city, and now the heroes have to come in and defeat the giant and the orcs. What is really cool about this representation of Dungeons & Dragons combat is that it works exactly like the 1-inch grid system. So basically, these guys are going to be moving 1 inch for each dot, which is equivalent to 5 feet. So let's say that this is our rogue, and our rogue has a 30-foot movement. So we'd be able to move like this: 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You can also dash and move more. We can figure out ranges using the dots. And remember, 1 dot is equal to 1 inch in the grid system, which is equal to 5 feet. So in this way, we have a very exact way to run combat, just in a very small format. And just like in D&D, all the normal actions apply. Let's say we want to run in 5, 10 feet. We're going to attack that giant. When we're done, we're going to go 5, 10, 15, 20 and get the heck out of there. Maybe this guy over here is hidden. He has sneak attack. So he's going to come in 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet and attack on that giant with sneak attack. You see, it works out exactly like you would in a normal grid system. It's just in a very nice, small, cute little format. And of course, the beauty of LEGO is that there are so many different kinds of LEGO pieces that you can use. The options here are limitless for the kind of terrain you have. We have so many different places here. You can go hide, you can run around. So many different areas to explore, different kinds of trees, water, bridges, buildings, boats. I mean, everything you can imagine. I mean, basically, your imagination is the limit for how you want to set up a battlefield. It takes a little time to set it up, but that is really part of the fun. I had a blast setting this up with my kids, and now we are ready for a game of Dungeons & Dragons combat. Second combat mat I set up is a typical dungeon for a dungeon crawl. You can have Dungeons & Dragons without having some fights in the dungeons. So here you go. This is a simple system that I set up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different rooms, and I can show you some of the different elements involved in this dungeon. So if you present this board to your gamers, you're probably going to want to cover it up and only reveal the parts that they see as they come through the dungeon. The idea here is you start out in this room here, and you come over here, and immediately I thought this would be a great room to have some supplies, where maybe they meet some orcs or skeletons or something like that. Now here they have options for different ways to go. You have a normal door here, which is really cool, that little Lego piece there. Or maybe they have a wooden door they'd have to break through. Over here, we have a room set up with, some sort of fountain, something in the corner there with a fire. They'll have to figure that out. Another door over here. Or they go the other direction. They come into a room with lava. There's no clear way how to get across the lava, so they'll have to figure that out. Here is a hidden door in the wall that they could break through if they're able to find it. Otherwise, there's another wooden door here. If you come into this room, you'd have to break through this door as well. I set up a trap here. You can see these two gray pieces here that have those yellow pieces on the end. Some traps there that maybe it gets tripped and they shoot out blades or something like that. In front of all the doors, I put these little pieces down as well that make it look like there's traps there. Into this room, you come into this room, if you come from this side, we've got something like an ice wall here that they'd have to break through. Maybe there's something in the corner with a kind of plant that they might be able to use to break the ice wall. Over here off to the side, we have got something like a little jewel with a statue behind it. Maybe the statue comes to life and fights them. Who knows? I mean, you can use your imagination, come up with whatever you want. Here's the final room that has a trap in front of it. There's a door leading into a large chamber, and this is going to be kind of the area for the final boss fight. We have got a sarcophagus there surrounded by 2 torches. We've got 3 pillars in the middle with torches on them. The final room where you can have your big boss fight, and once you get through that, you have your exit right here, which is also trapped, which will lead you out of the dungeon. And here's an example setup of a final sarcophagus room when our players have come into the room, and maybe we have a skeleton boss who's resurrected out of the sarcophagus. We've got other skeletons pouring in from the walls. Maybe here even we have a gelatinous cube that has fallen off the ceiling and is now threatening our players. And just like in normal D&D, like we said, you can use your single dots to represent your movement and your distances, and you can go ahead and fight out combats strategically just like you would with a normal grid system. Well, there you have it, folks. A quick video showing you some of the possibilities for using Lego for your Dungeons & Dragons maps on a small scale. Now, there are so many options here, and one thing that I would like to try to pursue in the future is to use some maps like this and incorporate them with my game, The Dungeon of the Beast, where we don't have to just be stuck in a dungeon, but we can come out and play a game out in a city. So we have a way to use Lego to play something like a regular old tabletop war game. There are so many ideas and so many possibilities here, so stay tuned to Grey Army Gaming as we try to work out some more of these ideas. If you like these kind of videos and you want to see more content like this in the future, please do subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and I will continue to make more videos like this in the future. And most importantly, thank you for joining us here today at Grey Army Gaming for the future of gaming.